There are lots of benefits to having a home-based office. For one thing, there's no commute. You don't have to get in your car and drive anywhere. So it saves you time and it saves you money. The overhead working from home is much lower. You don't have to pay rent or utilities, and you can even write off some of your household expenses. So you get to keep more of your money. Plus, you don't have to come up with the first and last month's rent, and you don't have additional costs like heating and triple net. Triple net is garbage, water, and taxes. Now, these are expenses you're already paying for at home, and you can write off a portion of these expenses when tax time rolls around, so that's another benefit. Now, eventually I decided that I wanted to move into a commercial space, and the reason I wanted to do that was because I was teaching classes on a regular basis, and I discovered that I just love teaching. So this was really where I wanted to focus my energy. So after 10 years of, being at home and working on my own in a home-based healing practice, I packed up all my stuff and I moved into a commercial space, but not before considering other options. For example, I looked at an executive office space that provided a reception service and access to a training room. So they had a boardroom that would have been suitable for the sizes of classes that I was teaching. But this also meant having to share an office with other people, which meant that I couldn't leave my hypnosis chair in the room. So that wasn't going to work. Then someone recommended that I rent a room that was available in an established healing center, and that sounded like a great opportunity. So I went and I checked it out, and it was great, except for one little problem. There was no sound protection between the rooms. So you could hear every little thing that was going on in the center, and regression hypnosis can get pretty noisy at times, so that wasn't going to work either. So finally I just decided to bite the bullet and get my own place. Well, I found this beautiful space that was centrally located, not far from downtown, and it had just been freshly renovated, so I didn't have to do any leasehold improvements, and it was bright and clean, so I didn't have to fork out a bunch of money on improvements at all. And the space was located in a mini strip mall, so it was at ground level. There were no stairs, and there was plenty of parking right out front. Plus, I didn't have to pay for monthly parking for myself, and that's something to consider if you're looking at going into a commercial office space. I don't know where you live, but where I live, if you have to pay for your parking, that can go anywhere between $60 and $110 a month. So, it's another expense. And I know that it's much higher in the larger city centers. So I met with the tenants that were on either side of the unit that was available, and they turned out to be awesome people. They were really supportive and very interested in what I was all about. And I checked out the potential for sound carry through, and there wasn't any. The sound didn't carry through to either side where the other tenants' areas were. So this really was the perfect space. And so what I had was, it had a small reception area and a waiting room, and there was a classroom that would comfortably accommodate 15 or 16 people. And there were 2 office spaces with the option to also take over a 3rd room that the landlord was just using to store stuff in. So this was perfect. And I loved having the bigger space to work out of, but it was costly, and it was a lot more work too, because I, was chief cook and bottle washer, so that meant that, I was also doing the janitorial service as well. So it didn't take me very long to realize that I preferred working from home. So at the end of the year, when my lease was coming up for renewal, I just gave notice and I moved back home. And but this time it was with a new appreciation for the benefits of having a home-based healing practice.